Commander Hannah Park watched the stars from the observation deck of the Umbran flagship Vigilant Dawn *. Her dark eyes reflected the light of distant suns as she studied the tactical display. The Cygnus Reach system floated before her as a three-dimensional map of planets, moons, and strategic points. Each location was marked with a small blinking light where Umbran ships waited in perfect stealth. 300 years of waiting was about to end. 300 years since the generation ship Pioneer had crashed on their world, leaving the survivors to build a new civilization far from Earth and other human colonies. 300 years of watching the galaxy, learning its secrets, and developing technologies that even Earth had never imagined. "All ships report ready, Commander," said Captain Jun Kim as he approached. His uniform was crisp, the dark blue material highlighting the silver insignia of Umbran Fleet Intelligence. "Stealth systems are working perfectly. No detection signatures from any of the monitoring stations." Hannah nodded, her short black hair catching the blue light of the tactical display. "And the civilian ships? All prepared for immediate colonization, once we secure the system," Jun replied. "The settlement teams are eager to begin." Unlike other human worlds that expanded through noisy diplomacy and trade agreements, Umbra had learned patience. They had watched as alien empires rose and fell, studied their technologies from afar, and prepared in silence. The Umbran way was different. Strike decisively when the moment was right, not before. "The Meridians and Voidcrest pulled their forces out last month," Hannah said, pointing to several locations on the display. "Their war has weakened them both. They'll be too busy fighting each other to worry about this system for at least 6 months. 6 months is all we need," Jun agreed. "Once we're established, they won't be able to remove us without significant losses." The door to the observation deck slid open with a soft hiss. Director Ta Li entered, carrying a data tablet. His civilian clothes stood out among the military uniforms, a reminder that Operation Daybreak was not just a military action, but the beginning of a new chapter for all Umbran people. "The council meeting just ended," Tai announced, his voice solemn. 25-0 vote. Operation Daybreak is approved." Hannah felt a weight settle on her shoulders. Her parents and grandparents had lived and died never seeing another world. They had devoted their lives to preparing Umbra for this moment. The moment when their hidden colony would emerge and take its rightful place among the stars. "Any last concerns from the science division?" she asked. Ta shook his head. "Chief Scientist Yuna reports that all data confirms the Cygnus Reach system is ideal for our needs. The third planet can be terraformed within 5 years. The asteroid belt has enough minerals to fuel our expansion for a century." "And the real prize?" Hannah asked. "Still there," Todd confirmed. "Deep scans show the ancient facility on Cygnus IV remains intact. If the records from the Pioneer are correct, it contains technological secrets that predate all known civilizations." Hannah turned to look out the actual viewport, beyond the tactical displays. The real stars shone back at her, distant points of light that her people had dreamed of reaching for generations. The children of Umbra learned to look up at the night sky not with wonder but with purpose. Those stars were their destiny. "The timing is perfect," Jun said, checking his instruments. "The Galactic Concord patrol ships are on the far side of the system. The monitoring stations are running on minimal staff. Most of the defensive platforms were dismantled when the Meridians withdrew." Hannah straightened her uniform and took a deep breath. She thought of all the commanders before her who had trained for this day, who had lived and died preparing for an opportunity that never came in their lifetime. She was the one who would finally give the order. "Signal all ships," she commanded. "Synchronized jump in 3 minutes. Weapons systems on standby but ready. We take this system without firing a shot if possible." Jun nodded and began relaying the orders. Throughout the hidden Umbran fleet, commanders prepared their crews for the jump that would reveal their existence to the galaxy. "You're making history today, Commander," Ta said quietly. Hannah's expression remained steady, but her heart raced. "For Umbra," she replied. "For Umbra," Tai and June echoed. As the countdown reached 0, Hannah gave the final command. "Execute jump. The age of silence ends today." Across the Cygnus Reach system, hundreds of ships appeared simultaneously, their stealth systems disengaging as they took position around every strategic point. After centuries of hiding, Umbra had emerged, and the galaxy would never be the same. Diplomat Minho Song yawned as he walked through the quiet corridors of Monitoring Station Cygnus 7. This inspection tour was supposed to be an easy assignment, a break from the tense negotiations between the Meridians and Voidcrest. The Cygnus Reach system had become a backwater since both powers withdrew their forces to fight elsewhere. Only a skeleton crew maintained the Galactic Concorde's presence here. "More coffee, sir?" asked the station administrator as they entered the main control room. "Please," Minho replied, straightening his formal blue diplomatic uniform. "Then I'll need to see the resource extraction reports for the outer moons." The administrator nodded and turned toward the small kitchen area. At that exact moment, every emergency light in the control room flashed red. Alarms blared with deafening intensity. "What's happening?" Minho shouted over the noise. A young sensor operator's face had gone pale. "Sir, ships appearing throughout the system. Hundreds of them." Minho rushed to the main display. The holographic map of Cygnus Reach blinked with new contacts appearing simultaneously across the entire system. Ships materialized near jump gates, resource-rich moons, defense platforms, and every communication relay. "Is it the Meridians returning?" Minho demanded. "Or Voidcrest reinforcements?" The sensor operator shook her head, fingers flying across the control panel. "Unknown design, sir. I've never seen ships like these." "Put them on screen," Minho ordered. The main view screen filled with images of sleek vessels unlike any in the Concorde database. They moved with unusual precision, taking position around key infrastructure with a coordination that seemed impossible for such a large fleet. The communications officer turned from his station, his eyes wide with shock. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the largest vessel. They identify themselves as human." "Human," Minho repeated in disbelief. "From Earth?" "No, sir. They say they represent a colony called Umbra. I've never heard of it, and it's not in any registry." Minho's diplomatic training kicked in. "Open a channel to their command ship." The main screen changed to show a woman in a dark blue uniform with unfamiliar insignia. Her expression was calm, controlled, and utterly confident. "This is Commander Hannah Park of the Umbran flagship *Vigilant Dawn*, she stated. "The Cygnus Reach system is now under Umbran protection and administration. All current residents may continue their activities under our oversight. We come with peaceful intent but will defend our claim if necessary." Minho stepped forward. "This is Diplomat Minho Song of the Galactic Concorde. You have no recognized claim to this system. Your actions constitute an illegal seizure of territory under Concorde protection." Commander Park's expression didn't change. "We are aware of Concorde regulations, Diplomat Song. We've studied them carefully for generations. You'll find our claim is based on historical records predating the Concorde itself." Minho noticed something odd about the Umbran ships on the tactical display. They had positioned themselves with perfect spacing, creating what appeared to be a defensive grid covering the entire system. "Your unannounced arrival with military vessels violates 17 different Concorde protocols," Minho said, trying to sound authoritative despite his growing unease. "We will address all diplomatic concerns," Commander Park replied. "For now, we suggest you contact your superiors. They will want to know about Umbra's emergence." The transmission ended. Minho turned to the communications officer. "Send an emergency message to Concorde headquarters. Priority Alpha." Over the next 6 hours, Minho watched helplessly as the Umbran fleet secured the entire system without firing a single shot. Their ships moved with impossible grace, using propulsion technology that allowed maneuvers no known human ships could perform. When a small Meridian scout ship jumped into the system, The Umbrans simply surrounded it, scanned it thoroughly, and escorted it back to the jump point. "Sir," the communications officer called out, "we're receiving transmissions from across the galaxy. The Meridian High Command, the Voidcrest Directorate, and the Earth Colonial Administration are all demanding information." Minho nodded grimly. "Tell them what we know, which is almost nothing." On the bridge of the Vigilant Dawn Commander Hannah Park received the flood of incoming transmissions with calm resolve. "They're demanding explanations and threatening sanctions," reported Communications Officer Su Kang, sorting through the messages. "The Earth Colonial Administration is particularly upset. They claim we're misrepresenting ourselves as human." "Send them all our prepared statement," Hannah replied, "and arrange secure channels for their representatives. It's time they learned about the colony that's been watching them for centuries." Captain Jum Kim approached her with a tactical update. "The system is secured, Commander. No casualties or resistance. Our technological advantage has them completely stunned." Hannah nodded, surveying the star map showing Umbran ships positioned throughout Cygnus Reach. "We've had 300 years to prepare for this moment, Captain. For generations, we've watched from the shadows as others fought over territories and resources. Umbra has observed long enough. Now we take our place at the table." As diplomatic vessels from across the galaxy began jumping into the system, Hannah stood ready to introduce the galaxy to humanity's most secretive colony, and to reveal why they had chosen this moment and this system to finally emerge from the darkness. Commander Hannah Park stood inside the ancient chamber, her breath visible in the cold air. The walls around her glowed with faint blue symbols that no living person had seen for thousands of years. 3 weeks had passed since Umbra's dramatic appearance in the Cygnus Reach system, and now she understood why her ancestors had chosen this place. "These readings are unlike anything in our records," said Chief Scientist Junho Lee. He moved his scanner slowly across the strange metal walls. "The energy signature is still active after who knows how long. 10,000 years. Maybe more." Hannah touched the cool surface, feeling a slight vibration beneath her fingertips. "And you're certain this wasn't built by any known species?" "Completely certain," Juno replied. "The material composition doesn't match anything in our database. The energy technology is, well, it's beyond even our understanding." Captain Jum Kim stood at the entrance to the chamber, keeping watch as the science team worked. "Commander, I think we need to consider what this means about the Pioneer *." Hannah nodded slowly. The truth was becoming clear. The generation ship that brought their ancestors to Umbra 300 years ago hadn't crashed by accident. The ship's records had always been suspiciously damaged around the time of the landing. "They knew," she said quietly. "They deliberately sought isolation. They came to Umbra to prepare us for this moment." Junho looked up from his scanner. "But why? Why hide this information from Earth and the other colonies?" "Perhaps they feared how others would use it," Hannah suggested. "Or perhaps they were following instructions from whoever built this place." Deep beneath the surface of Cygnus IV, the facility stretched for kilometers, a vast complex of chambers and machinery that hummed with dormant power. This discovery would change everything about Operation Daybreak. The Umbrans hadn't just seized a valuable star system. They had reclaimed something that might have been waiting for them all along. Across the galaxy in the Grand Galactic Concord Chamber, diplomat Minho Song struggled to maintain order as representatives from 27 species shouted over each other. The massive circular room echoed with angry voices as news of Umbra's discovery spread. "These humans appeared from nowhere and seized a critical system," bellowed the Meridian ambassador, pounding his four-fingered hand on the table. "Their technology suggests military capabilities that violate 6 different treaties. The Voidcrest Directorate demands immediate action," added another representative. "This Umbra claims to be human, yet Earth denies knowledge of their existence." Minho stood at the central podium, trying to calm the gathering. After the initial shock of the Umbran appearance, The Concord had appointed him special envoy to the situation. It was proving to be the most challenging assignment of his career. "Please, honored representatives," Minho called out, his voice amplified through the chamber. "We must establish proper diplomatic relations before rushing to judgment. The Umbran delegation claims to have crucial information." A convenient excuse for territorial expansion, interrupted Admiral Dayun. The Admiral had been given command of the newly formed Coalition Defense Force, a hastily assembled fleet drawn from multiple species. "My ships stand ready to remove these invaders and restore order to Cygnus Reach." The Earth representative, a tall woman named Director Kang, rose from her seat. "Earth neither supports nor condemns Umbra's actions at this time. We request more information about their origins. If they are indeed human, they deserve a chance to explain themselves." "How convenient for Earth," sneered the Voidcrest delegate. "Perhaps this is your secret colony after all. A military outpost disguised as a lost settlement." Director Kang shook her head firmly. "I assure you, Umbra is not an Earth operation. Our historical records show the generation ship Pioneer was lost 3 centuries ago. We believed all hands perished." Admiral Yoon stepped forward, his military uniform adorned with medals from previous campaigns. "Words will not resolve this crisis. I have assembled a fleet of 60 ships. We will depart for Cygnus Reach in 3 days. These Umbrans will withdraw or face the consequences." Minho realized the situation was slipping out of diplomatic control. "Admiral, I strongly advise against military action. The Umbrans seized the system without a single casualty. Their technology appears significantly advanced. Conflict could lead to unnecessary losses. Are you suggesting we allow anyone to seize territory simply because they have superior technology?" The Admiral asked coldly. "I'm suggesting we learn more before risking lives," Minho replied. "My report indicates they are searching for something specific in the Cygnus system, something they claim is of urgent importance to all species." "Another convenient claim," the Admiral said dismissively. "My fleet departs in 3 days. Diplomacy can continue in parallel, but the Coalition will demonstrate that such actions have consequences." As the chamber erupted in debate again, Minho received an urgent message on his secure communicator. His eyes widened as he read the report from the observation team in Cygnus Reach. The Umbrans had discovered something beneath the surface of Cygnus IV, something ancient and powerful, something that might explain their sudden appearance after centuries of hiding. Minho looked up at the arguing representatives, wondering how to tell them that the situation had just become far more complicated. In the Cygnus Reach system, Commander Hannah Park and her people were uncovering secrets that might change the balance of power throughout the galaxy, and they had only 3 days before Admiral Yoon's fleet arrived to challenge them. The Coalition fleet emerged from jump points at the edge of the Cygnus Reach system. 60 warships representing 7 different species appeared in perfect formation, their weapons powered up as soon as they arrived, shields glowing with energy. On the bridge of the Vigilant Dawn Commander Hannah Park watched the tactical display with a steady gaze. The Umbran fleet was outnumbered, but not outmatched. 3 weeks of controlling the system had given them time to prepare. "They're sending the ultimatum now," reported Communications Officer Su Kang. "Admiral Yoon demands our complete withdrawal from the system within 6 hours." Hannah read the message on her screen without changing her expression. "Send our standard response. We claim this system by historical right, and we have discovered critical information that affects all species." Tactical Officer Jin Quan looked up from his station. "Commander, they're positioning for a potential attack vector. 3 battle groups are spreading out to surround our main fleet." "Hold positions," Hannah ordered. "Continue excavation of the facility on Cygnus IV. We need what's inside before this escalates further." The ancient facility had revealed more secrets each day. Chief Scientist Juno and his team worked around the clock, deciphering symbols and activating dormant systems. They were close to understanding the facility's true purpose, but needed more time. Umbran ships are maintaining defensive positions, Jin reported. Our stealth scouts report the Coalition vessels are arming weapons but haven't targeted our ships yet. Hana nodded. They're hoping we'll panic and fire first. We won't give them that satisfaction. On the diplomatic vessel Concord Diplomat Minho Song stood on the bridge beside Admiral Da Yun. The admiral wore his dress uniform, decorated with medals from previous campaigns. His expression was cold as he studied the Umbran fleet positions. Admiral Yun, Minho said carefully, please consider that we still know very little about Umbra's motives or capabilities. Their claim about a discovery on Cygnus IV may be legitimate. We know enough, Yun replied without looking at him. No civilization has the right to seize territory this way, human or otherwise. These Umbrans appeared from nowhere with military technology beyond anything we've seen. If we allow this to stand, what message does it send to others? Minho chose his words carefully. My diplomatic team has had several meetings with Umbran representatives. They claim their ancestors knew about something hidden in this system, something important enough to justify their actions. A convenient excuse, the admiral said dismissively. Every territorial grab in history has claimed some noble purpose. The tactical officer approached Admiral Yun. Sir, the Umbrans aren't responding to our fleet movements. Their ships maintain defensive positions only. Yun frowned. Send the Valiant to probe their defenses near Cygnus IV. Let's see how they respond to a direct approach to their precious discovery. Minho's eyes widened. Admiral, that's a provocation. It's a patrol in territory that belongs to the Concord, Yun interrupted. If they fire, they prove themselves the aggressors. Commander Hana watched as a coalition vessel broke formation and accelerated toward Cygnus IV. The ship, a medium-sized cruiser called the Valiant headed directly for the area where Umbran teams were excavating the ancient facility. They're testing us, Captain Jum Kim observed from beside her. Yes, Hana agreed, and we'll respond with precision. Contact Defense Team 6. Tell them to prepare the pulse system. As the coalition vessel approached Cygnus IV, a small Umbran ship detached from the planet's orbit. Instead of firing weapons, it released a pulse of blue energy that washed over the Valiant. Instantly, the coalition ship's engines died. Its weapons powered down, and even its emergency systems flickered and failed. Target neutralized, Jin reported. No damage to the vessel or crew. All systems temporarily disabled as planned. Hana nodded with satisfaction. Open a channel to Admiral Yun's ship. On screens throughout the coalition fleet, Commander Hana Park's face appeared. Her expression remained professional, but there was a hint of steel in her voice. Admiral Yun, we have disabled the Valiant without harming its crew. We could have destroyed your ship, but that is not our way. Instead, we invite its crew to witness what we've discovered on Cygnus IV. Send your own scientists and diplomatic representatives. What we found concerns all sentient species, not just Umbra. On the bridge of his flagship, Admiral Yun's face darkened with anger. This is an act of war. How dare you attack a coalition vessel? We disabled a ship that approached a sensitive research area after receiving clear warnings, Hana replied calmly. Your crew is unharmed. Their life support systems remain functional. We will restore all systems once you agree to send a diplomatic team to view our discovery. Minho stepped forward, seeing an opportunity. Admiral, this could be the diplomatic opening we need. Let me lead a small team to investigate their claims. The Admiral glared at him, then at Hana's image on the screen. You have 24 hours, Diplomat Song. If I don't receive a satisfactory report by then, my fleet will take action. Hana nodded. We accept these terms. A shuttle will bring your representatives to the facility. I believe you'll understand our actions once you see what we found. As the transmission ended, Captain Jun approached Hana privately. Commander, are we ready to reveal everything? Hana looked toward the image of Cygnus IV on the main screen. We have no choice now. The ancient facility is nearly operational. If the Coalition attacks before we can activate it, everything our ancestors worked for will be lost. Throughout the system, Umbran and Coalition ships watched each other with weapons ready. The next 24 hours would determine whether first contact would end in understanding or war. Diplomat Minho Song stood in stunned silence as he stared at the massive holographic display. Deep beneath the surface of Cygnus IV, the ancient facility had finally revealed its purpose. The central chamber glowed with energy as Chief Scientist Juno activated the last control panel. Immediately, a three-dimensional map of the nearby sector appeared, with a terrifying red wave approaching from the edge. "What am I seeing?" Minho asked, his voice barely a whisper. Commander Hannah Park stepped forward, her face serious in the blue light of the ancient technology. "This is why Umbra seized this system. This is what our ancestors prepared us for over 3 centuries. The facility is a warning system," Junho explained. He pointed to the red wave moving steadily toward them. It detected a rare stellar phenomenon, a cascading neutron eruption from the collapse of a dying star. That's why our ancestors directed us here. The previous civilization knew it was coming. Admiral Yoon, who had reluctantly joined the inspection team, moved closer to the display. "If this is real, when will it hit?" 4 days, Juno replied. "The wave will reach this sector in 4 days. Without protection, it will sterilize every living thing on 12 inhabited planets." The Admiral's face paled. "That's impossible to evacuate in time." "Yes," Hana agreed. "That's why we needed this facility. It's not just a warning system. It's also a defense network." She gestured to diagrams appearing on nearby screens. The ancients built amplifier arrays that, when positioned correctly, can create a shield against the radiation. Minho looked from the diagrams to Hana. "This is why you seized the system so suddenly. Why didn't you just tell us?" "Would you have believed us?" Hana asked simply. "Would the Concord have accepted the word of an unknown human colony about an invisible threat that has never been recorded in modern history?" The Admiral remained skeptical. "This could be an elaborate deception. Check with your own scientists," Hana suggested. "The wave is detectable with specialized equipment now that you know what to look for. But we don't have time for debate." She stepped forward, facing the Admiral directly. "I'm making an unprecedented offer. Join forces with us. Your ships can help position the amplifier arrays according to the facility's specifications. Together, we can save billions of lives." Minho watched the Admiral's face as he weighed his options. Pride battled with duty. Suspicion fought against the evidence before his eyes. "If this is a trick," the Admiral began. "Then punish us afterward," Hana finished for him. "But if it's real and you refuse to help, how will you explain that choice to the families of those who die?" 2 days later, Umbran and Coalition ships worked side by side throughout the Cygnus Reach system. The ancient amplifier arrays, massive crystalline structures dormant for millennia, were positioned at precise coordinates. Engineers from 7 different species worked to understand and enhance the alien technology. On the bridge of the Vigilant Dawn Hana and Captain June monitored the defense grid's formation. The countdown timer showed less than 48 hours remaining. "The Coalition ships are following our instructions perfectly," June reported with surprise. "Admiral Yoon has committed his entire fleet to the defense network." "Fear is a powerful motivator," Hana replied. "Their scientists confirmed our readings. The neutron wave is very real." Tactical Officer Jin approached with a report. "Final amplifier array in position, Commander. The system is ready for activation." Hana nodded. "Inform Chief Scientist Juno to begin the power-up sequence, and invite Admiral Yoon and Diplomat Song to join us on the bridge." When the Admiral arrived, his earlier hostility had been replaced by grim determination. "My fleet reports ready, Commander Park." "Thank you, Admiral," Hana said sincerely. When the wave hits, we'll need every ship maintaining its position. The tension on the bridge grew as the hours counted down. Communication channels remained open between all vessels as final preparations were made. Species that had been enemies now worked together against a common threat that none of them had known about until the Umbrans revealed it. 1 hour remaining, Jin announced. Minho stood beside Hannah at the main viewport. If this works, he said quietly, everything changes for Umbra. That was always the plan, Hannah replied. My ancestors didn't hide on Umbra out of fear. They prepared us for this moment, when humanity would need what only we could provide. When the neutron wave finally reached the edge of the system, sensors throughout the fleet detected its approach. The ancient facility powered up fully, energy surging through connections to each amplifier array. A shimmering blue shield began to form between the position ships. Wave impact in 30 seconds, Jin called out. Hannah gripped the command rail. Hold positions, everyone, no matter what happens. The neutron wave hit with incredible force. The shield network glowed brilliantly as it absorbed the deadly radiation. On several ships, crews reported systems overloading. The ancient technology strained against forces it was designed to contain thousands of years ago. Shield integrity at 30% and dropping, Jin reported as alarms sounded throughout the fleet. Reroute emergency power, Hannah ordered. All non-essential systems offline. For 3 terrible minutes, the shield wavered but held. When the wave finally passed, cheers erupted across every ship in the fleet. The Umbran and Coalition forces had done the impossible together. 1 week later, the Galactic Concord officially recognized Umbra's claim to the Cygnus Reach system. The emergency session acknowledged that while their methods were unorthodox, the Umbrans had saved billions of lives. On the observation deck of the Vigilant Dawn *, Hannah watched as the last Coalition ships prepared to depart. Admiral Yoon's flagship sent a final message. The Concord remembers its debts, Commander Park. Umbra has earned its place among us. This is only the beginning, Hannah told her crew as they gathered around her. Umbra has stepped out of the shadows, and our true work can finally begin. On Earth and across human space, people celebrated the discovery of their lost cousins. News broadcasts showed images of the ancient facility and the shield that had saved the sector. Many wondered what other secrets the Umbrans might have kept during their centuries of silent observation. Hannah looked out at the stars, now filled with possibilities rather than threats. The ancient facility on Cygnus IV still held mysteries to uncover. The true story of their ancestors' journey to Umbra remained to be fully told. We watched from darkness, she said quietly to Captain June. Now we build in the light. Beyond the viewport, ships from a dozen worlds arrived to learn from Umbra and study the ancient technology. The hidden human colony had emerged, and in doing so, had changed the galaxy forever.